Chapter 1. The Neon Pulse. Part 2. The hum of the server farm receded as Winky stepped out of the lower bay and ascended the service ladder toward the upper levels of the bunker. Every rung he gripped felt like a live wire against his palm, his neon-red skeletal structure pulsing in resonance with the bunker's failing power grid. The higher he climbed, the more the air changed. The ozone smell of the server rooms gave way to the stagnant, heavy atmosphere of the upper levels, a mix of recycled dust and the lingering static of the ion storm. He reached the top level and pushed through the reinforced bulkhead, entering the lounge. The space was a cavernous relic of the old world, designed for comfort but now stripped to its bare, industrial bones. The overhead lights flickered with a rhythmic, sickly orange pulse, mirroring the atmospheric firestorms raging miles above their heads. The furniture was scattered, flipped in the chaos of the initial impact, and the massive observation windows, usually a clear view of the horizon, were now coated in a thin layer of particulate matter that glowed with a faint, iridescent light. Mustang Rider was there, sitting in the center of the room. She was motionless, staring out at the blurred, swirling neon vortex of the sky. She hadn't moved much since the storm, her silhouette framed by the harsh, external light. She was still humming, that same 1940s melody, thin and fragile, but it was deeper now, integrated with a subtle, synthetic vibrato that made the very air in the room quiver. "It's not settling down," she said, not turning to face him. Her voice was perfectly clear, carrying across the room without the need for projection. "The storm. It's waiting for something. It's a weather pattern, Ryder," Winky said, though even he didn't believe it. He walked toward the center of the lounge, checking the structural integrity of the support beams. "It's just radiation and ion displacement." "No," she replied, finally turning her gaze to him. Her eyes were different, deeper, reflecting the same rhythmic pulse that beat in Winky's chest. "It's hungry. It's listening to the broadcast." Nearby, Roxy Ripper was crouched over the central audio console, her hair a chaotic tangle of dark locks and fiber optic cables. She was working with a soldering iron, the tip glowing red hot as she fused connections on the main board. The mic system was a wreck. The storm had fried the preamps, leaving the signal saturated with high-pitched, screeching feedback. "The audio hardware is resisting the upgrade," Winky, Roxy muttered, wiping grease and glowing dust from her forehead. She didn't look up, her fingers moving with frantic, mechanical precision. "Every time I try to bypass the limiter, the wires start to phase. The whole console is trying to melt into the floor." "Fix it, Roxy," Winky commanded, walking over to inspect the board. The lounge is the only place with enough natural acoustic resonance to project a clear signal. If the band is going to project, they need this space clean. Roxy grunted, pulling a handful of melted, pulsating wires from the back of the rack. "I'm doing my best, but the interference is local. Something is pinning the signal from the outside, a deliberate jam. It's not just the ion storms anymore. Someone is actively tightening the screws on our frequency." Winky leaned over the console, looking at the waveform displays. The lines were jagged, distorted by the encroaching, heavy sludge of the rival signal, the sound of signal rot. It was a parasitic, hateful frequency, trying to overwrite their broadcast with a raw, discordant grunge that tasted like ash. "Can you filter it out?" Winky asked. "I can," Roxy said, her eyes narrowing as she tightened a final, glowing connection. "But I have to push the gain into the red. We'll be broadcasting at a frequency that might just shatter the windows." "Do it," Winky said. He looked over at Mustang Rider, who had stood up and was now pacing the room, her movements fluid and predatory. The lounge was meant to be a place of rest, a sanctuary at the end of the world, but it had transformed into the front line of an invisible war. They were refining the sound of a new reality, one broadcast at a time, while outside, the neon storm howled, eager to tear their work to pieces. "The air is getting thinner," Mustang Rider noted, looking toward the ceiling vents, where a fine, glowing dust was beginning to seep down. "The barrier is failing." Winky didn't respond. He looked at the console, then out at the hellish orange sky. He reached out, his own hand glowing with a steady, defiant red light, and rested it on the microphone stand. "Start the warm-up," Winky said to Roxy. "If they want to fight for the airwaves, we're going to give them a sound they'll never forget." As Roxy flipped the main power switch, the entire room groaned. The speakers hummed to life, not with music, but with a low, bone-rattling vibration that synced with the pulse of the bunker. The war for the signal had moved into the lounge, and for the first time, Winky felt the true weight of what they were trying to broadcast, the heartbeat of a dying world, trying to scream back at the void.
The chandelier is swaying, but the room is cold and gray. The stars have all gone silent since the sun has slipped away. I'm humming through the static, finding notes inside the rust, while the memories of the garden turn to neon-colored dust. Oh, play the tune of twilight in a sky that's burning red, with a heavy heart of iron and a halo made of lead. We are fading in the frequency, just ghost within the wire, dancing in the fallout of a cold and cosmic fire. The radio is weeping with a signal I can't hold. I'm trading in my heartbeat for a promise that I'm told. The storm is at the window, it's a rhythm in the floor. I don't know who I am, love, or what I'm living for. System check, the signal's breaking. Can you hear the ground beneath the shaking? The air is thin, the light is turning. Is this the end, or are we just yearning? So play the tune of twilight in a sky that's burning red, with a heavy heart of iron and a halo made of lead. We are fading in the frequency, just ghost within the wire, dancing in the fallout of a cold and cosmic fire. Just a neon echo, a song inside the storm. The broadcast is waiting, and we're keeping it warm. Mm.